2.6 million people. One nation, one massive project that could change everything. Guinea's water and sanitation project is not just another development story, it's a lifeline. With solar-powered water plants, school upgrades, and gender inclusion. At its core, this initiative is aiming for sustainable, long-term transformation. Whether you're a policymaker, a humanitarian, or just curious about real change in Africa, this video is for you. Watch to the end, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss these inspiring journeys. Guinea, nestled on the western coast of Africa, is home to over 13 million people. Rich in natural resources like bauxite and gold, this country has long struggled with something far more basic: access to clean water and proper sanitation. Only about 64% of Guineans can access improved water sources, and fewer than 3 in 10 people benefit from safely managed sanitation services. These statistics are more than numbers. They translate into disease, lost productivity, and preventable deaths. Waterborne illnesses like cholera and diarrhea are widespread, and it's often women and children who are hit hardest, spending hours fetching water instead of going to school or working. But now, Guinea under President Mamady Doumbouya is setting out on a transformative journey. With major backing from the World Bank, European partners, and other key donors, the country is launching one of its most ambitious infrastructure and public health projects to date. The goal: universal water and sanitation access by 2030. To understand why this project is so critical, we need to explore the depth of Guinea's water crisis. Start with Conakry, the bustling capital. It's a city where many homes go days without running water. Residents often rely on unreliable boreholes or even surface water contaminated with waste. Those with means buy bottled water, but for most people, the only option is to queue at shared wells or depend on water vendors charging inflated prices. Now, let's go rural. In villages and remote communities, things get even more desperate. Sanitation infrastructure is nearly non-existent. Open defecation is still practiced in many areas due to lack of toilets. Hygiene education is limited. During the rainy season, latrines overflow and contaminate the very water sources people depend on. All of this leads to a vicious cycle of poor health. Diarrheal diseases are among the top killers of children under 5 in Guinea. The lack of clean water and sanitation has been directly linked to stunted growth, missed school days, and widespread poverty. And for women and girls, the impact is especially severe. Every day, thousands walk miles carrying heavy containers just to collect water for their families. It's exhausting, time-consuming, and dangerous. Worse still, many girls miss school once they begin menstruating simply because their schools lack proper toilets. These problems aren't new. Guinea has been struggling with them for decades. What's new is the scale of the solution now being implemented. Enter the Guinea Water and Sanitation Project, also known by its French acronym PEG. Launched in April 2025, this 6-year initiative marks a turning point in the nation's development. This isn't just about digging wells or fixing pipes. PEG is a full-spectrum transformation project that touches on every aspect of Guinea's water and sanitation ecosystem, from infrastructure to governance. Here's what it includes: expanding water services across Conakry, ensuring more consistent and safe supply for its growing population. Rehabilitating and upgrading key infrastructure, like treatment plants and pipelines, to improve efficiency and coverage. Implementing a recovery plan for the state-owned water utility SEG, with financial reforms and technical training. Enhancing sanitation governance, including the development of a national sanitation agency and new policies. Improving water, sanitation, and hygiene, WASH, in schools, with a focus on building gender-sensitive latrines and hygiene stations. Now, let's talk money. The PEG is backed by an impressive coalition of funders. The World Bank has committed $200 million through its International Development Association. The European Investment Bank has added around $220 million in financing. The European Union is contributing $26 million in grants. The Global Environment Facility is providing $10 million, emphasizing the project's green goals. And the Guinean government itself is investing around $15 million, showing national ownership. Altogether, that's nearly $500 million being channeled into one of the most urgent development sectors in the country. One of the flagship developments under PEG is the construction of the Yulu water treatment plant. This facility is more than just a technical upgrade, it represents a shift towards sustainability and innovation. The Yulu plant will be powered by solar energy, helping Guinea transition to greener infrastructure. Its operation is expected to prevent over 12,700 tons of CO2 emissions every year, significantly reducing the country's carbon footprint. But the infrastructure upgrades don't stop there. Across the Kankure watershed and even inside Ganga National Park, the project is integrating nature-based solutions. These include reforestation, erosion control, and protection of natural springs, measures that not only secure water supply, but also protect biodiversity. Overseeing all of these efforts is a dedicated coordination unit housed within Guinea's Ministry of Energy, Hydraulics, and Hydrocarbons. This unit ensures that the many moving parts of PEG, from construction sites to policy reform, are working in sync, and for the first time, Guinea is building a national database of water points and sanitation facilities using GIS and digital mapping tools. This will help the government and donors track progress, identify gaps, and plan better in the future. What's a water project without health and education benefits? PEG understands this, and its designers have baked public health outcomes into every phase of the plan. First, the numbers. Over 2.6 million people are expected to benefit from improved water services. Among them, more than 572,000 people will gain access to drinking water for the first time in their lives. That's life-changing. Safe drinking water drastically reduces exposure to pathogens that cause deadly diarrheal illnesses. It also lowers the burden on hospitals, improves child survival rates, and helps communities grow stronger and more resilient. Schools are also getting a major boost. Around 400 secondary schools will receive new latrines, hand-washing stations, and hygiene education programs. These upgrades aren't just about cleanliness. They empower girls to stay in school, improve attendance rates, and foster dignity and health across the student body. Teachers are being trained to incorporate WASH education into the curriculum. So it's not just about infrastructure, it's also about changing behaviors and building a culture of hygiene from a young age. And here's a vital detail. All school facilities will be designed to accommodate students with disabilities, ensuring inclusivity and equal access for all. Big infrastructure means nothing without strong institutions to sustain it. That's why PEG is also driving a wave of reforms in how water and sanitation services are managed in Guinea. The new program contract will redefine the relationship between the government and SEG, Guinea's state water company. It lays out clear performance goals, financial responsibilities, and accountability mechanisms. To ensure long-term sustainability, tariff reforms are being introduced. These will help SEG recover costs while still making water affordable for low-income households through subsidies and tiered pricing models. A national sanitation agency is being established to take over the planning, regulation, and monitoring of sanitation services, something Guinea has historically lacked. Perhaps most notably, PEG is pushing for gender equality in the water sector. The project is aiming for at least 51% female participation in key roles across SEG, including engineering, project management, and executive leadership. That's a bold move in a sector traditionally dominated by men. It's about more than fairness. Studies show that gender-diverse teams perform better, especially in service delivery sectors. Women also bring unique perspectives to issues like household water use, community engagement, and hygiene behavior change. Now that we've explored the scale and intent of Guinea's PEG project, let's dive deeper into the mechanisms of change. At the heart of this transformation lies infrastructure, not just pipes and pumps, but a completely reimagined ecosystem for water supply and sanitation management. A prime example is the Yulu water treatment plant. What makes this facility remarkable isn't just its size or scope, it's the fact that it's designed to be solar-powered. This alone places Guinea at the cutting edge of green infrastructure in West Africa. In a world facing increasing climate challenges, this plant is projected to slash carbon emissions by roughly 12,979 tons of CO2 equivalents every year, making it both an environmental and public health asset. But the project doesn't stop at high-tech plants. PIG also plans to rehabilitate aging water networks, install new distribution lines, and build critical sanitation systems in underserved areas. These efforts are aimed not just at delivering water, but at doing so consistently, cleanly, and sustainably. A tall order, but one that's now within reach. Alongside infrastructure, PEG integrates a focus on nature-based solutions, an often overlooked yet crucial piece of the puzzle. The Kankure watershed and the protected area of Gangan National Park are both slated for ecological preservation and integrated water resource management. This means preserving forests, restoring natural vegetation, and regulating land use to protect water sources at their origin. By protecting these ecosystems, Guinea is not only securing clean water for its people, but also fortifying itself against future climate risks, like droughts, floods, and water scarcity. This forward-thinking approach demonstrates that the project isn't just reactive, but proactively building resilience into every layer of its implementation. A key entity overseeing these efforts is the PIG Coordination Unit under the Ministry of Energy, Hydraulics, and Hydrocarbons. This body ensures alignment between national objectives, donor requirements, and technical standards, providing much-needed coherence across the project's sprawling components. Let's talk impact. Not in terms of policy, but people. Over 2.6 million Guineans are expected to benefit from upgraded water and sanitation services. Among them, more than 572,000 individuals will receive clean drinking water for the very first time. This is more than just a number, it's a matter of life and death. Clean water access reduces diarrhea, cholera, and other waterborne diseases that disproportionately affect children under 5. Fewer sick days mean higher productivity, lower medical bills, and ultimately improved quality of life. Equally critical is the project's impact on hygiene within schools. Up to 400 secondary schools will receive gender-sensitive latrines, hand-washing stations, and hygiene education programs. This might seem simple, but it directly affects girls' attendance and retention. In communities where girls drop out of school due to lack of private sanitation, these facilities can change futures, literally. Also, consider the ripple effects. Healthy students learn better, healthy workers earn more, and healthy communities grow stronger. This is how water access becomes an engine for national development. One of the biggest reasons development projects fail is weak institutions. Guinea isn't letting that happen. The PIG recognizes that to sustain change, the institutions delivering water and sanitation must be both efficient and accountable. That's why the project includes a complete overhaul of SEG. The Guinea Water Company. A new program contract will redefine SEG's role, establish performance indicators, and introduce mechanisms for regular evaluation. Moreover, PIG will lay the foundation for a new national sanitation company, ensuring that sanitation is no longer an afterthought, but a key player in development. There's also a focus on financial sustainability, with tariff reforms and better billing systems. The country aims to reduce revenue losses and boost reinvestment into services. But reform isn't just about finances, it's also about people. The project's ambitious gender targets aim for 51% female representation in engineering and leadership roles. This isn't just symbolic. Including more women in decision-making positions ensures diverse perspectives and more inclusive service delivery. It's about building a water sector that reflects and serves everyone. Leadership matters. And while Guinea is pushing forward boldly, it's important to recognize neighboring efforts that inspire and reinforce regional momentum. Under President Mamady Doumbouya, Guinea has also launched sweeping reforms in the water and sanitation sector. His administration's efforts to combat open defecation and expand rural water access show that when political will aligns with strategic vision, real change is possible, and fast. This cross-border learning is vital. As West African nations like Guinea and Burkina Faso take bold steps, they create templates and shared knowledge that other countries can adapt. In this way, PIG is not just a national initiative. It's becoming part of a continental shift towards sustainable development. So, what's next? With the project set to continue until 2031, the next few years will be critical. Monitoring progress, adapting to challenges, and ensuring that investments reach the people who need them most will define the project's success. By aiming for universal access to clean water and sanitation by 2030, Guinea is setting a benchmark. That aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And while the task is immense, the roadmap is clear, the funding is secure, and, most importantly, the political commitment is visible. PIG isn't just about fixing water pipes, it's about rewriting a national story, one where every child can drink clean water, every girl can go to school without fear, and every community can thrive with dignity. Guinea's water and sanitation project is more than a development initiative. It's a story of resilience, vision, and determination. A story where international support meets national ambition, and where people, not just pipelines, are the focus. As we've seen, this transformation involves engineering, education, climate resilience, gender equity, and institutional reform, all working together to deliver real change. So, if this story inspired you, if it opened your eyes to the power of water, then help us spread the word. Like, share, and subscribe for more real stories of African development that don't make headlines, but change lives every day.